Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome back to RobScure Music. Today is October 9th, 2025, so we have two important birthdays in the Beatles community. And so I wanted to say happy birthday to John Lennon, who would have been 85 today, and to his son Sean Lennon, who turns 50. So yes, Sean was born the same day as John, 35 years later. And so happy birthday to both of you. Now, the main reason for this video is I wanted to talk about an event that I attended 2 days ago on Tuesday, October 7th, which was a private listening party for the Power to the People box set. This is the John Lennon and Yoko Ono Power to the People box set. And unlike some of the other box sets that have been issued, this one doesn't focus on a particular album, but rather a particular period in the lives of John and Yoko, and specifically that 1972 time frame where they were heavily involved in a lot of activism, political issues. John was going through a lot, as was Yoko, going through a lot with the whole Nixon administration. If you know the story, I'm not going to repeat it here. But at the end of the day, John and Yoko did a one-to-one concert, and they did both an afternoon and an evening performance. And they also issued an album called Sometime in New York City. And that album was very political. Songs like Sunday, Bloody Sunday. I love that song. I always have. But in any event, so this particular viewing or screening, I guess, or listening party, I guess is the best way to put it, was held basically to kind of debut this box set. And the box set includes both the concert, the one-to-one concert, and the Sometime in New York City album, which of course was edited, and because there is a particularly controversial song on there, I think all of us know what that is, and that woman's song was omitted from this album. And the album is sort of, or the new version of the album is sort of called now simply New York City. And it's fine, and I like it. And if you want the other song, it's available elsewhere. And longtime fans have heard it for such a long time. The New York album, as it is a fantastic listen. We did get to hear some of the songs on, and I don't have the set yet, but it should be coming. I did pre-order the 9-disc version as well as the 2 LP set. So hopefully when they come, I can listen to them. But back on, I don't remember when it was, one of the record store days, I did pick up this Power to the People album, which is from that concert, and it includes the songs Well, 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 Instant Karma, We All Shine On, Cold Turkey, and Don't Worry, Kyoko, Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow. And this was with the Elephant's Memory Band, and it was live, like I said, in New York City in 1972. So what happened with this listening party is that Joe Mayo, who many of you know, my good friend Joe Mayo, was invited by the Lennon camp to attend this particular event, and he could bring a guest. since his girlfriend was not available, and I guess he considered some friends and ended up asking me if I wanted to attend with him. And the obvious answer there was yes, a resounding absolutely yes, yes, yes. So we went together to this event. We did get there early. We didn't want to have any kind of issues with the train going in or anything like that. So we got there early, and of course, there was nobody around. We couldn't get in too early. So we looked around. We saw a restaurant and bar across the street. There were some tables with people sitting out front, outside of the restaurant. They have outdoor seating. So we went over there just to get something quick bite to eat and drink. I did have a Guinness. Hey, it's an Irish place, But anyway, we went over there, and lo and behold, we ran into two people we know. That's Andy Nichols and the MVP, Heidi. So we were talking to them. We did get something to eat and drink there at the restaurant. And then afterwards, we walked over to the event, which was literally across the street. And it was at the Dolby Atmos Music Studio. We get in there, and no sooner are we in there than Sean Lennon is right there. I get introduced to Sean Lennon. Obviously, I tell him, what a huge Beatle fan I've been all my life. What a huge John Lennon fan I've been, because John Lennon was always my favorite Beatle. And I also got the opportunity to tell him what a fan of his work that I am, particularly his work with Wes Claypool and the Claypool-Lennon Delirium. And if you're not familiar with them, I'd say check it out. I really, really enjoy it. And I was telling him that, as a matter of fact, 2 days before the event over the weekend, I had actually been listening to the Claypool Delirium project's album, South of Reality. And what a great album that is. But anyway, so he told me that a new Claypool Lennon project is coming out, album is coming out. And it's this is great. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting the box set for Power to the People. But I just could not believe that I had the opportunity in my lifetime to meet Sean Lennon, to be that close and standing right next to somebody that close to the Beatles, because I know I will never meet an actual Beatle. I've seen Ringo in concert. I've seen Paul in concert. Unfortunately, never really had the opportunity to see John or George in concert. I did get to see Paul somewhat up close when Joe and I went to see Paul at MetLife Stadium. And we stood outside the stadium knowing which way he would come in. And sure enough, he came in his car. There was a whole crowd there, and there was a gate, to section people off and keep them confined to this area. And the car actually went by, and it came up really close to the people, and Paul had his hand out and waving. And I got video of that and a picture. You may have seen it. I think I've put it up. I know Joe has put it up. He had his own images. He had some of my images that he put up. So if you see that video of Paul waving out of the car window or pointing, that's my video, basically. But in any event, so I was absolutely thrilled to have this opportunity to meet Sean Lennon, and I was just in heaven. So we're in the room mingling with people, and there were a lot of people I knew there, and some people I met for the first time. So in addition to Sean Lennon, photographer Bob Gruen was there. If you know Bob Gruen, you know that he was an important part of the John Lennon life, okay, in photos. A lot of the really important photos that we have, they're Bob Gruen's, basically. So I had the opportunity to meet with him. I did get a photo with him. As did Joe. And then I said, you know what? Why don't we have Bob Gruen take a picture of us? So Joe and I have a picture. And after the event, as we were walking out and leaving, it occurred to me what I should have done instead of having Bob Gruen take the picture, because now it's just simply a picture and you have to take our word for it that Bob Gruen actually took it. I probably should have had him take a selfie so that perhaps you'd see, with his arm reaching out, and you'd know, well, he's the one taking the picture. So anyway, I had my picture taken by a famous photographer. What can I say? I also had the opportunity to meet Gary Van Scyoc, who was the bassist for Elephant's Memory Band. That's the band that played with the, let's say, the Plastic Ono Band with John and Yoko on the Sometime in New York City album, and on stage on the one-to-one concert. And of course, Simon Hilton was there, who was a music editor, and he helped Sean put together the Mind Games package, and they actually won a Grammy for that. So kudos to you, and congrats on the awards. He was obviously an integral part of this new Power to the People box set. I know I'm forgetting people, but I was just like sort of overwhelmed and in awe of the fact that I was actually here at this event. But anyway, so we were there for a while, and then they opened the doors to the screening room, which is basically set up like a theater. And we took our seats, and they screened this portions of the box set. They did the one-to-one concert, and it starts off with Come Together, which was absolutely incredible to see. And I say see because they had not only the music playing, and again in Dolby, but they had on the screen the one-to-one concert, so you could actually see the footage. And it was incredible to be that close. I mean, I think I was sitting in the third or fourth row looking at this. Sean was, I think, 3 rows behind me. And we're just watching this and getting blown away by everything that we're seeing and hearing. So they come together. What else was? After that was Instant Karma and Well. They did Cold Turkey and Don't Worry, Yoko. That Yoko Ono sang, and she she did a fantastic job. And I know a lot of people don't particularly like Yoko with her vocalizations and so on, but this was, I thought it was fine, and I won't say I like it. I don't want too much of it, honestly, but it is a form of artistic expression. And when you think about Yoko's life and some of the pain and anguish that she's gone through in various facets of her life, it's almost like the John Lennon's Primal Scream album, Plastic Ono Band, where she's kind of letting out these feelings and her emotions in the song. So kudos to her. You know what? She's doing her own thing, and I don't think a lot of people really appreciated it at the time. I think more people do now. But in any event, so we're hearing this, and then they played portions of the New York City album. So that was kind of cool. They had obviously New York City, which is like one of the best songs on that album. They also had Sunday Bloody Sunday, a song that I've always enjoyed. And honestly, I've always enjoyed the album. Is it one of his better albums, John Lennon's better albums? Not particularly. A lot of people will say it's his worst album. And maybe it is, but it's still very enjoyable. And I've always liked the songs that are on that. I like the whole music, and not the production particularly, but the new version, fantastic. So anyway, so we're at the screening, and afterwards was it afterwards or before? God, I don't even remember now. They had they brought in a cake for Sean Lennon's birthday because it was only 2 days away. So we all sang happy birthday to Sean. Oh, I should also say, let me step back for a moment, that during the event, there was somebody there with a camera who was documenting the whole thing. And at one point, he had asked, I think, Skylar Moody, I saw him ask Skylar to go into another room and give her impression of what she had just seen and heard. And then Joe Mayo went in as well. But as it turns out, this individual was also in the room when we were doing the viewing, and he was able to capture the whole birthday scene. And they put the video up on, I guess it was Sean Lennon's site. I didn't see it initially, but my friend Sam St. John, check out Americana Sam on YouTube, he actually sent me a message. He says, "You made the video." And he included the video, and sure enough, there I am on the video, because as the cake came in and we were singing happy birthday, I Sean was like 3 rows behind me. I turned around to see what was happening, watch him blow out the candles and everything, and I'm in the video. It just so happened that with the way that the camera was facing, I'm there. So that's pretty cool. I've never had anything like that happen. I shouldn't say never, because honestly, I used to work at the New York Stock Exchange, and I've had the opportunity to sometimes meet important people or celebrities. I've had the opportunity to kind of be in the background in I guess, in different aspects. I also had the opportunity to ring the opening bell with a group of employees who were volunteers. And this came right after I had done some volunteer work at Channel 13, PBS station. You see those people in the background picking up the phones, and, people call in, you're taking the donations. So I was doing that for a while. But anyway, so I got to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Not a lot of people can say that. So, yeah, I've had some high points in my life, beyond family and so on, obviously. But, this was another one. And then to see it in this video with Sean Lennon, it's like, it's amazing. So after the viewing, we went back into the long, narrow room that we were in initially, and we had some birthday cake. And yes, I did have a piece of Sean Lennon's birthday cake. And they had bottles of water, they had soda, different things. So it was cool. And they also gave us a tote bag. It says, "Power to the People, John and Yoko, Plastic Ono Band." And this was with the Elephant's Memory and special guests. This was the concert in New York City. We got Yoko on the other side. And inside of this bag were a number of different things. We've got, and unfortunately mine got a little crushed here, I guess, on the way home. Power to the People, I guess kind of like a bumper sticker. Another Power to the People sticker. We got some postcards that I'll never use because I want to keep these. Images from the concert. And then this envelope. And when you open that up, what's inside is this card. Power to the People again, one-to-one concert. And this is included in the box set, and the I don't know if it comes with the LPs as well. Probably does. And it's basically a note from Sean Lennon saying, "Dear friends, mixing the concert recordings was really fun, mainly because there was a lot of work to do. For whatever reason, the technical side of the one-to-one concerts seemed a bit haphazard and disorganized." Now, he goes on to talk about the microphone changes between the matinee afternoon show and the evening show, because there was an afternoon and evening shows. But honestly, he and Paul Hicks and Simon Hilton, who was also there in attendance that evening, they spent a lot of time working on this, and they did a wonderful job. It sounds absolutely amazing. There are some quirks that people have with it, with saxophones and horns and whatnot. And I understand that I really do. But to hear John and Yoko so much clearer now, the recordings are just absolutely amazing. And having gone through this experience on Tuesday night, meeting Sean, meeting all these other people who were involved in this project, and seeing it and hearing it on Dolby Atmos, I mean, it's just an experience, an unforgettable experience. And honestly, when I'm listening to the box set now and in the future, it will enhance my listening experience because I've had this opportunity. So thank you, Joe Mayo, for giving me the opportunity to go along with you, because this is something I will never forget. But also, getting back to the bag and being in there after the screening, as I mentioned, Gary, the bass player for the Elephant's Memory Band, was there, and his wife was actually walking around handing out these Elephant's Memory pins. So that was an unexpected surprise. So it was kind of nice to get that as well. And again, I've ordered the box set. I don't have it yet. It literally has just not been shipped to me. So I'm waiting. But I did get this back at Record Store Day. One of the Record Store Days. Was it in 2024 or 25? Must have been in 25. Power to the People, John and Yoko. And this has just a couple of the songs from the concert. It has obviously Well, 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 Instant Karma, Cold Turkey, and Don't Worry, Yoko. Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay well, friends. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.